spoke. Guess it makes sense, your daily mantra is your latest quotes. Follow in they footsteps, who you think that you paving for. I guess we should watch that Viola Davis show. Make them all mad, then you Hall of Fame go in OP mode. You better rope the dope. You pedopus, bro. Man, I'm the one y'all can't fuck with. You better pipe down with all that up. Then it stuck shit. You just a stuck up bitch. I hope they bob and weave instead of buying bobs and weaves. That seems to be a common thing, man. Avoid the common things. I swear. They'll weigh you down, they don't care. I swear. That's how they claim that they was there. I swear. The whole world spinning like it's the fair. I swear. But it's clear that y'all wasn't there when I was marching my way up the totem pole. Man, they throwing bows and they ducking poles. It's like a game of limbo, how I'm going low. Put the team on my back, said fuck the coach. Man, I'm the GOAT, and in Mamba mode. Marching my way up the totem pole. Man, they throwing bows and they ducking poles. It's like a game of limbo, how they going low. Put my team on the back, said fuck the coach. Man, I'm the GOAT, and in Mamba mode. Y'all be one hit wonders, make that shit stop. Your little 15 seconds is fame is up. Man, TikTok, this is your welcome to hip hop. Thinking about how y'all got here, man, it's so exhausted. Mumble rappers on that show, but shawty, this that jam. When it's just another throwback anthem. Simple so much I can't even tell you what's the sample. I'm bringing bars back. Say it with your chest or have a heart attack. Y'all ain't got the heart for that, and I know I got the heart to match. I know niggas in the hood with extenders, play dance and play limbo. You pull up, it's uno momento, and this ain't for nothing but lately niggas moving slow, and I ain't even bluffing. These days I'm feeling like I'm David Ruffin. When it hit the fan, the world ain't spinning no more. It's on fire, hell froze over. Life closing in, you can't be sober for closure. I never sweat, I can't pull over. Hoodie on, they robbed the game of its culture. Zip them up now, it's a baddie bag odor. Take the mask off, revealing they poser. My palm itching to go getting closer, but I'm bred different, you can't imagine where I've been. I sleep through the noise, I can't rest when it's silent. I'm marching my way up the totem pole. Man, they throwing bows and they ducking poles. It's like a game of limbo, how I'm going low. Put the Mamba mode. Marching my way up the totem pole. Man, they throwing bows and they ducking poles. It's like a game of limbo, how they going low. Put my team on the back, said fuck.
There he is.
What's happening, man?
What it do?
Yeah, I think I done picked up a little bug or something now. How you been doing?
When it rains, it pours.
Yeah, right. How y'all
I'm a
doing
lot better, man.
down there with the weather?
Oh, everything is good down here. Man, it rained a little bit this morning, and that was it.
Wow.
It's 2011, I got Cole and Dottie question. Sam
it.
Smith and Queen used to be my obsession. Don't get me wrong, pops put me on the real
They said it
MCs
was
like
gonna rain all
Heavy
day,
D
you know,
and Run
hurricane
DMC.
watch
I
and
had
all
it
that
all burnt
stuff.
over on my little MP3.
It hit
This
more
before
up
we knew
toward
that
North
social
Carolina,
media
South
would get
Carolina
hot.
area.
The way you got
Yeah,
hurt was LimeWire or
skipped over.
mixtape pop.
I called
RBA,
Mama this
H and
morning
double
in
H, you
Savannah,
heard
and
that
she
they
like,
dropped. The
it
game's on
rained a
my man and
little
you
while.
in
We good.
possession.
I'm
With
like,
the
wow.
clock ticking,
Okay.
ain't no time to be second.
That was it with us too. It rained for a hot minute, and that was good. Unique for you, 77. How you doing? I'm glad to see you in the place. We just been giving a chance for people to come on in. This your boy Pops with Pops Gems, Pops Perspective. As you know, my partner Juan been out of commission a little bit, but he's back full effect. How's your back? Feeling better?
Yeah, man. We had to move some vaccines. We had to move some vaccines. We were done. I did all the lifting. Got back. A young lady went to put the what a little thing called a pallet. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, and the handle went to fall. Why I didn't just let it fall? I went to reach for it to grab it. That was it, brother.
What?
I heard the pop. I said, God, dog it, man. I've been on muscle relaxers and left-handed cigarettes and everything, man. Just trying to dull it. I've been for like 2 weeks, man. I
Wow.
mean, I come home from work and I get drugged up in here and fall asleep in the chair and it's like, man, everybody, Mom, oh, you okay? I'm like, Mama, it is what it is. It's gonna take a couple of weeks for Motrin,
Yeah.
ibuprofen,
Yeah.
the muscle relaxer. You just
Yeah.
take the rounds until it goes away.
Yeah. Get you a heating pad. The J
That's
Cato in the building, not team, no team, just us in the building. What it do, fam?
what's
Glad to see
up.
y'all jumping in.
I see you,
Yeah,
sir. Let's go.
the J Cato, that must be your people.
Yeah, that's my that's Yvonne's son.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. All right, cuz.
yeah,
I'm like
yeah,
Onk. I'm like Onk then. Onk. I'm like Onk. All
yeah.
right, well, hey,
Joshua.
we we gotta do what we gotta do. Let me see if I can come out here and man, it's if it ain't one thing, it's another. And all right, let me see. I think this is it. As y'all know, I do not own the rights to this music, but nevertheless.
Good evening. Do not attempt to adjust your radio. There is nothing wrong. We have taken control as to bring you this special show. We will return it to you as soon as you are grooved.
It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a strong rhyme to step to. Think of how many weeks shows I slept through. Time's up. I'm sorry I kept you.
Talk to him, Jay Reynolds.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Pops. I just wanted to pop in real quick. Hey, play our words. Pops from Pops Jams. Coming up, we got Pops Perspective.
Let us tell you what it is, tell you what it ain't. Giving you the real, we'll never do the fake. Life is a gift, but sometimes we need guidance. Pops Perspective, always perfect timing. Call that alignment. Yeah, he gon' drop them gems.
Pops Jams.
You know he really him. It's something about his confidence that let you know he haven't seen.
You don't want to miss. Don't meet me there. Beat me there. Pops Perspective, Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.
And hello. Once again, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow gemologist. It is your boy Pops. We in the building. This is Pops Perspective. Definitely want to thank each and every one of you for popping in. Pops Gems in the building. As always, before we get anything started, we got to thank God, for without him, none of this would be possible. Definitely give a shout out to God, especially in these last days, man. I mean, boy, I tell you, it's like insurance. You might complain about paying it every month, but boy, when you need it, it's there. And boy, like putting in prayer, boy, you got to make time to pray. Sometimes we get so busy, but every now and again, boy, let me hear. You got to cash in on some of those blessings, cause, man, I tell you. So definitely thank God. I want to come at it a little different. Of course, we want to shout out to my normal sponsors, but I just want to tell a special thank you for all of you who have been praying for Pops. For those of you that have been tuning in, keeping me in prayer, and sending out well wishes. I definitely appreciate that. The shoulder's not 100%, but we back in the swing. I got this guy, William, follows me around every month. Yeah, man, every month. William, because the same time. And so I said, why you follow me every month, man? He says, well, I got to come see you. I said, well, I get tired of seeing you, William. He said, well, you can call me Bill for short. So every month I got to see Bill. And nevertheless, we're thankful to God to have a job. There's people out there that would gladly trade places with what we're complaining about. And so it's definitely something to keep in your mind. Exotic Pops, my boy Left Hand Lacey, Lefty Global and Notorious True. Exotic Pops, if you want to get your Exotic Pop in Orlando, they're at 4119 South OBT, Orange Blossom Trail. Or go see Tashanti, she get your wig right. And she's out there in Mondora, and they got Exotic Pops. And then they opened up the third location, which is 5311 East Colonial Drive, Poppin' Snacks. So there's definitely popping. Exotic Pops is definitely popping all over Orlando. So you want to make sure you go and get that. CTP, create the panic, change the perspective. All season shop. You see it right there, glow in the dark. You see the pen, Pops Gems. Come on and grab you a pen, man. Get your pen. Put your that's what. Let me say this. When I hit 200 followers, I think I'm about 3 away. I'm gonna do another pin giveaway. So when we hit 200, the following show, we're gonna do a pin giveaway, and we just gonna bless some folk with some pins and stuff so that they can have some memorabilia from Pops Gems. So definitely keep your eye open for that. Jay Iris, my youngest son, was playing You can find him on Spotify, YouTube, and that's JA1RUS. And he got some songs out and put out his CD. Definitely want to support him. Cool rapper, cool rapper. He got it honest. And then Lakai Holmes. Lakai Holmes, don't forget Lakai Holmes, get your candles. Get your candles. For those of you who don't have one, aromatherapy, Lakai Holmes, she makes the vase or the container that it comes in. She mixes the wax itself and she creates her own scents. And this is called perspective. And when I spoke to her, I was like, I want something that will set the tone for a good, healthy, deep conversation, but not too deep where it's putting you to sleep or not, just something intellectual. And so what she did is she created layers. And so each layer has a different scent. And the deeper it burns and the deeper the conversation gets. So you want to go to Lakai Holmes, LAKAI.Holmes. No, I'm sorry, LAKAI Homes. And you want to go check her out, Lakai Holmes. They got your candle peoples. So you definitely want to go, if you like aromatherapy, definitely want to get into that. Future Ultra _ join. What's going on, Future Ultra? Now, all you people coming in, if I don't know you, thank you for joining in. And while I'm in that area, to all my gemologists, those of you who thought it not robbery to tap in, we got a good one for you tonight. We had a good one last week, too. Juan, we've been talking about step parenting and boundaries, and we got into a good conversation. We had Carl came on the show and talked about his thing. Again, he had, well, that was a crazy experience. He shared some good insight on step parenting. We also had Primetime Jalen was in the building, and he came on and we talked about taking on, the boundaries as a step parent, the do's and the don'ts. And so we had a good show. All the shows I really get into them. I thank God for putting them in my mind. So without further ado, tonight we want to jump right in. We want to get to talking about, and this one is crazy because there's so many different ways that this can spin off. So the title is, can you be in a relationship when your significant other has a best friend of the opposite sex?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we're going to get messy.
Uh-oh.
We're going to get messy. Can you be in a relationship with an individual who has a best friend of the opposite sex? And I know that, boy, y'all talk about Besty, BFF forever, and boy, look at him. So the scope is open. Anybody got any comments? I'm just gonna start the ball rolling. But anybody got any comments? You're welcome. If you want to, if you're not camera shy and you want to get on in here and say your piece and move on. Here at Pops Gems, we don't judge nobody. Your opinion, you're entitled to your opinion. And if you want here, we ask you a question you don't want to answer, you could do like they do on Wild 'N Out, plead the fifth. You ain't got to answer it. But what I like to do, what I derive out of these, I want to have conversations and topics that normal people may not just, you just don't find that kind of conversation. And heat up the scenario. And of course, you always got, you're going to come from one extreme to the other, because in a perfect world, you would think that it would be okay. But then again, there's depends on the individual. So
Maturity.
Yeah, in a mature world.
Listen,
World. There you go.
I'm that brother, man.
Uh-oh.
I have two, and I'm not going to call their names because they may pop up in here. I have two female friends, actually three, and I think it's about an understand. Listen, we all are in relationships.
Anyway,
we all are in relationships. Some relationships are just the friendships. Some are friendships with other things, and some are friendships with other things and other things. But it's a level of maturity. Most people want to conflate two things. They see a guy and a girl, or they see you of the opposite sex, and they just assume that there has to always be something. Well, guess what? We're men. I was in Walmart the other day. It was a sister in there with a pair of black pants on. We had her hair pulled back, looking at some toothpaste and toothbrush. How I remember all that. But the girl was fine. I'm not going to look past that, because at the end of the day, I'm still a man. And I still believe this, man. God knew exactly what he was doing when he created man and he created woman. Women are desirable. It doesn't mean that you have to be, you can interact with them. I used to believe that men and women could not be friends. I said, there's no way, because I always conflated two things. Every time he look at you, he thinking about you, though. He thinking about you this, we think about that. And that's why I brought up Walmart. We think about it in Walmart with nobody, by ourselves. We all men. We don't keep it 100. We walk down the road. We see something that is desirable to us. We are not lustful about it, but we don't look a bit. Oh, well, look at that. And so to think that you can friends have got to be respectful. You know, your female friends or your male friends, if you all are just having conversations about whatever the common denominator is, whether it's working out, whether it's work, whether it's whatever, it may be advice. I told somebody this the other day. I said, appreciate your male friends that can be 100% genuine and honest with you about the advice that he gives you, if he's giving it to you from a good place. Now,
Okay.
you ask him something about a situation, and I think I told you before, I used to be on a speaking circuit, but people would ask me, well, my man did such and such, and that means that I said, listen, you either going to accept, and he's going to be in a mature place about it, or he's going to do it without you. What would you rather have? Because we can pretend like, well, I'm my wife's, my husband, my girlfriend, my boyfriend's best friend. No, you're not. Because see, just like being family, me and you brothers, I'm gonna love you because you're my brother. You being my friend is a choice that I make. That means that we compromise in our relationships and it's the same thing with people of the opposite sex. My friend, I know she's not on here. I'll call her Tracy. My friend, I see one of my female friends just popped in
Little
right here,
Red.
and she will tell you, but you gotta be you gotta be honest about the relationship and elevate yourself to think past everything has got to be about sex, because really it's not.
No.
It's not. But an immature person will assume that, oh, it's about sex. You can't have no female friend. You can't have no. Listen, I can give advice to people from a place of respect and respecting their relationship, and be fine with it. You know, I'm not gonna put our business out there, but that's a good friend of mine that just popped in.
She want to get on. She
Uh oh.
requested to come on. I'm gonna see
Uh
what she got
oh.
to say.
Let
Yeah.
her let her
Hold
in.
on.
Then she's about to start some mess.
Here we go. I told you we're gonna get messy.
Don't get messy, girl.
I see a part two coming along. I see a part two. All right. Let me see if she'll jump in here. He preaching.
She good. She good people now. She's good people.
Let
We
me
met.
see. Oh, she
We met.
declined. Oh, she
Uh
just
oh.
pushed the wrong button. That's what it
Oh.
was. You scared her off.
Okay.
And now
Listen.
it's funny because you can't right now. Girl, put that rap on that head. Ain't nobody. What's up?
No. She.
You
she
touched. Oh, you have a client. Okay, that's something.
yeah. She got a client. Yeah. She's a hard worker. But she's a good. But she's good people.
Okay.
She's good people. I ain't gonna call her. We call her what you see on there. She's good people, and she's been good people. And we dated, and now she's good people. She's good people. You know, if she wants to talk.
You hitting all these points. Let me get my pen because
You see what she said in there?
I see what she
But
running.
she got me through a lot. I did. because I talked to her from a place of being honest and of being her friend because I care about her. I love her as a friend. We can talk about what shoulda, woulda, coulda. We passed all that. But she'll tell you if she can that I haven't always been right with her, but I've always been honest with her. And I think that's what's important. And there's other ones in there. You know, there are other folks. So you hit a nerve for me to come on feeling sick and everything. Yeah, I'm that guy.
Yeah,
I'm that guy.
when you said you come in, I said let me get him in here. Now, and I had to write down some stuff, and normally Pops just flow and he does, but I'm gonna tell you something, because this whole thing is first and foremost, it's what you're working with, the material. And that goes with anything. And, I like to use a lot of analogies. So,
Yeah.
depending on the material that you have, depends on the outcome.
That's true.
Okay, so if you got some good fortified,
Yes, sir.
good fortified building material, then you're gonna build a good product. And what I mean by that is the thing that we first need to understand is that we don't own anybody.
Hello.
Okay.
And we can't raise grown people.
And you can't raise grown people. And I understand, in coming from, from a biblical standpoint, and coming from just a basic everyday standpoint. I know that the Bible says, for those of you saying, oh, when the husband and wife get married and they don't belong to one another, they belong to each other, and this, that, and other. I understand all that. And I'm with that to the extent of you still have what they call freedom of choice.
Yeah.
And what I think really, really paves the way for a relationship, there has to be some continuing, there has to be some groundwork laid. For example, you have to first and foremost understand that when you label is the word I'm looking for. When you label somebody, then it's psychologically subliminal possession.
Okay.
This is my girlfriend. Yeah. This is my man. Don't be talking to my man. And so you're implying that individual belongs to you. And in most cases, it doesn't come with the heavy hammer. So, it's more like just saying, hey, that's who I'm talking to. But how deep does it go within the individual? And what I mean by that is, like you said, there's some people that have not matured to the extent of even seeing their significant other talk to somebody else out in public, let alone, and we're gonna go deep. We're gonna go deep. I don't want to get ahead of the horse, but it depends on the individual, what you're doing now. Nowadays, there's so much secretive. Everybody wants to be secretive. Everybody wants to, this, that, and the other. And there's nothing wrong with a man and a woman being best friends. Don't get me wrong. And I can respect that 100%. Because I have a best friend. I have a friend for over 30 years that, good friend of mine. Go to her house, me and her husband are friends, the kids, the whole nine. We spend the holidays together when we can, things of that nature. But there's boundaries. Just like I said, there was boundaries in step parenting. And the key ingredient, the mortar, if you will, to hold the bricks together, has to be maturity.
And respect.
And the reason I say, and
respect for boundaries. That's right.
Yeah, because first and foremost, there's a lot of different scenarios that can be created. For example, you meet somebody. Did they already have the best friend before you came into the picture?
Hello.
So now you got to consider that. Okay. The Peter Pan role. But so now you got to consider, and it's again, I've said it before, it's almost in everything you do, you got to count up the cost. Do you want to invest in a relationship knowing off rip, coming out the gate, on the giddy up, like they say, that you're going to have a problem with the significant other having a friend of the opposite sex? Now, I don't want to just beat on women. I don't want to just beat on men. So I'm just going to try to leave it, non-biased when it comes to the gender. But you got to understand that they were friends before you came into the picture.
Right.
you're really the outsider coming in. You're really the third leg. And if you think about it in that scenario, until you get to the point where you've earned enough from them that they want to spend time with you. See, we can't force people to be with us.
That's right.
Not in a sane mindset. Anything else that's hostage, that's being held hostage, and there's people that are being held hostage and they don't even know it. Shackles all on their feet, they don't even know it. But that's a show for another day. So we don't own anybody. We can't stop people from doing what they want to do. However, the other thing that comes into play is maturity, respect, and communication.
Yeah.
See, and when you meet somebody, yeah, you might meet them Saturday night at the Opie Doke, Boogaloop is DJing and you getting your groove on, and the last song they play was slow, and you got the girl, and you whoop de whoop, and you meet her, and y'all go hang out and have some fun, and then that's it. Okay, well that was it. You don't have to divulge a lot, but what an individual holds near and dear to their heart, they should protect it. And what I mean by that is, you don't have to open and just come out and say, hey, I got 3 friends, they're all girls, and we hang out. You don't have to do that, because now if you're not careful, you're building a defense mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
and then you ask yourself, why? Why are you doing it?
Yeah,
See,
why are they doing it? Why are you telling me you got 3 girlfriends? What are you trying to lace it up?
Yeah.
So when it comes to dealing with this, you got to be careful, because women and men, I'll say this, those people, and this, I could be wrong, these are the words of Pops, those people that don't trust can't be trusted.
Can't be trusted. That's right.
People that find it hard to trust find it hard because they within themselves would not be able to maintain with the measure that they're putting you up to.
It's called projection. That's right.
So, it's like a man to say, okay, honey, you've been in a relationship. She tells you I got my friend and we going to the movies together. What friend? Oh, his name is Tom, male friend. So is this the first time Tom was introduced? This and that and other. So let's get to the point where, I'm thinking, okay, and I'm saying to myself, okay, I know my lady bad because I got good taste.
That's right.
And Tom don't look like no square.
Mm-hmm. And
if Tom is a man's man, like I'm a man's man, Tom gonna shoot for that kitty. It's a man. It's a man. This is what one person's thinking. I'm not saying it's always true.
Right.
But those are the thoughts that come across an individual's mind. Now,
that's true.
If those thoughts can be discussed and extinguished, and there's a formal say, hey, I want you to meet Tom. He's cool. Do this, do that, blah, 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 bada bing, bada bing. Again, maturity, respect for boundaries, and communication comes in. Now, the same way you shouldn't, or, well, I'm not going to say shouldn't. I don't want to put boundaries on it. But the same way that, she's going out with Tom has to understand that she got a man now. Sally got to understand he got a woman now. So, yes, in fact, that's Besty. But if that's really Besty should understand that at one point they got to kind of back off, because after all, if you're your best friend, you want your best friend to have the best. You want them to be happy.
But think about it. Who's gonna put that in place? Are you gonna put it, or are you gonna let your woman put that in check? Because remember, the average man, we're simple. If you like me, that I love you word, we could care less about that. We want to hear 2 words. We want to hear respect and appreciation. If you respect me and I trust you to respect me, I'm not worried about that. I'm not a jealous guy. We talking about, oh, your bestie is Pops is your bestie and y'all always laughing and I don't care about that. You all have, especially, some of my friends, I'm talking about over 20 years, 15, 20 years. This is years. We have been platonic friends that long. Joker, see, Man, I done seen them cast them some fine girls. Okay, what does that mean? What does that mean? But we have a clear, and I've had one female friend that her and I had a conversation. Listen, we grown. I think it's more important, and I value more from you our friendship than I do trying to find out whether your sweet potato pie is good or not. I'm a whole grown man. I know good sweet potato pie when I see it. Okay? I don't need to stick my
I've been in
fingers in
plenty of
it.
kitchen.
Thank you. I don't need to stick my fingers in it. I don't need to eat round the rim. I know that's good sweet potato pie. So my point is that just because the sweet potato pie is out and it's cooling and it may look vulnerable, don't mean you got to stick your fingers in it or take a piece of it, because it's more important because you know it's for something else. That's for the party later on for somebody else. So we can't always, but you said it, a person who don't understand that is probably because they can't be trusted themselves. Now, that may not be the case, but
Right.
again, it comes back to how was they raised? What happened to them? You know, what did their last relationship do? What did that person do to them? And then you get to the basic point of you cannot fix what you did not break.
Uh-oh.
They got something to deal with themselves before you deal with them. You know, and I've had it. One of my friends, I was so happy for her when she told me she was getting married. I couldn't wait to meet her husband. Oh, she married an older guy. That's what you needed. You need an older man. I met this joker man as soon as he met me. That's your friend. What y'all? Whoa, hold on now, hold on. We've been friends since 2003. I just met you in 2017. Nah, he ain't going nowhere. Because when I need that emotional piece of him, guess what? He has been there for me.
Hush.
And guess what? Now they are no longer together. Had nothing to do with me. It was because he was full of it from the beginning. Dude, why is your insecurity involve my name? What they call it, the insecurity, a self-esteem, that starts with you, brother. Figure out you. And here's what most guys, and we I know you neutral, but guys, here's what most guys don't get. When you are doing what you're supposed to do for your woman in your relationship,
Talk that talk.
she will distance herself from whatever she may think may be a distraction.
Talk
If
that
you
talk.
try to make her do that, now you're trying to force her to do something that she didn't want to do from the beginning. Guess what? It's not going to last, my friend, because the first time you let her down, she going back to old faithful. Whether she having sex with him or not, she's going back to what is comfortable and familiar to her, because that's just human nature, man.
That's human nature.
Yeah.
VB and B Crew is in the building. Shout out to Notorious. Shout out to
There go my
Novella.
buddy. She said big
Big
facts.
facts. Was the thing about it? I mean, there's so many. I mean, and when I dove into this, I knew that there was going to be, there was going to be a lot of different stages.
Yeah,
Nipsey Hussle once said, "You can't possess people; you can only experience them."
that's right.
And the thing that happens is that number one, when you're dealing with issues, there's always complexity about life. Life is just not simple.
Of course.
And if you are an individual, like for me, I got a few male associates that we hang out, you know, my boys, but more women than not. And like if my bestie was to chime in and you ask her, well, how was Pops back in the day? And I'm gonna say just like she was said, Pops was a hoe. Pops was out there. Pops ain't
Okay.
always been this big, y'all. Pops been out there, you know what I'm saying?
Well, we got a
And
few
so
things in common then.
yeah. And so when it came to dealing with her, because she's been around, we've been friends over 30 something years. Any individual that came into play, that was a female, it was because she was my friend. And this is where it starts. It deals with how strong the friendship is before you deal into the relationship.
Do you
Because
respect her?
do you respect your friend as a
Yeah,
friend?
that's
Do
right.
you value your
That's
friend
right.
as a friend?
That's right.
Okay. And are you going to reciprocate See, a lot of times we don't mind, but 30 years, yeah, that's real deal.
Yeah.
Over 30 years, shoot, Matthew was like 2. He's 30 something, but and don't gotta talk a lot. We can bless you.
Yeah.
We can go 2 years without talking. Pick up the phone and pick up right back where we left off. And we have the kind of friendship that, and this is what I was alluding to. If she sees me entertaining something that's not good for me, she's not gonna hold her tongue. She's gonna tell me, "Hey, you do what you want to do, but this is how I see." And I feel that a friend should do that, not forcibly, but at least speak their objective mind, because you don't want to say, "Well, I was gonna say that." If you're really a friend and you really, there's a flag that comes up in your mind, and that's your friend, your bestie, you should be able to go and say, "You know what? The way he was, I just didn't like that," or the way she did that, I just didn't like that, because after all, don't and people it happens all like this. You just don't want me to have nobody. Da, 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 da. Not that. I don't want you to be abused by nobody. I don't want you to be taken advantage of by nobody. So it's not that I'm trying to keep you from having fun. It's the fact that, and not that, and from a man's standpoint, not that I think, oh, he gonna get the goodies. It's not that. It's that I value you as a friend and I want the best for you. So when you come from that standpoint, and again, you're besties, this is beyond regular friendship, then there should be that communication that understands that. Now, herein lies the complexity of it all. Again, the length of the relationship.
Right.
You met somebody, that's it, because nowadays, when you meet somebody 5 minutes later, that's my best friend for life, BFF, da 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 da.
No.
You don't know their last name,
Yeah,
but they're your
right.
bestie.
Right.
You got to consider the life of the relationship, especially when it comes to men, because I'm gonna tell y'all, and I ain't going Steve Harvey and y'all, but men are chasers. Men are gonna chase.
We hunters.
Men are gonna
That's what
chase.
we do.
That's human nature.
But here's what we do, man. You're right. It's human nature for us to hunt. But you know what? What we do recognize is hunting season, and we know the difference. We're not out here trying to do black powder when we know it's bow season. See, there is respect amongst that, and so we know that there are things that are off limits. It does not, and I tell people all the time, don't conflate two issues. Don't ask me if my best friends are fine. Yes, absolutely, they are, but they're still my friends. The same way if me and you go hang out and we decide to go down to Atlanta and kick it and do whatever, and we get drunk and we go back to the hotel, I'm not gonna hit on you the same way I'm not gonna hit on her. What you mean?
See,
It doesn't make sense.
You've reached that plateau.
Yes, and so here's the part that gets me with those minds. I don't want to call them simple minds, but everything has to be reduced to sex.
Yep.
Hey, listen, man, we 60. What we got a good 5, maybe 7 minutes. Find somewhere in the middle. We're gonna ruin 30 years of friendship for 5 to 7 minutes? Come on now. Come on. We got to do better than that. We got to do better. And so I always listen. I love women. I love them. Good old big ones, big old good ones, tall ones, short ones, it don't matter. Everything in between, I love it. I love how a woman is put together, but I have self-control and discipline. And if someone calls me their friend, then I value that word, friendship, more than anything. I value what that means. And if I respect you, I don't want to betray that. See, some knuckleheads, and we know how they are. They out there. A woman has already told them it's not going to happen, but they just keep pushing. Every time you talk about this, they talking about that. Every time you say this, they say that. Like, dude. But then what I tell women is, not. That's right. Distance yourself from them. And I just had this conversation about 4 days ago. That clown is not your friend. That's a disrespectful SOB. And I'm sorry I got to tell it to you like that, but that's what it is. Unless you don't understand the word friendship. Because where I come from, here's what friendship means. Here's what a friend is.
Right.
So you don't go there and elevate yourself past the 5 to 7 minutes that you're gonna spend with somebody.
So I say you got to count up the cost. I mean, there's a
Yeah,
lot of I mean, where I work, there's all kind of women that where I work, and it's how I almost got to say it's self-respect is permeates the air, because in order for you to have respect for somebody else, you got to respect yourself, because when it comes down to it,
that part.
I like to think about, okay, how would I feel? Put myself in that individual's shoes. Like you say, you got somebody that's your friend. Y'all don't, like they say, you don't broke bread together. You see what I'm saying? And you done share, you done been through the rough, you've been through everything, and so that's your friend. Are you gonna betray years of friendship for another individual? And what I mean by that, and don't misunderstand me. That don't mean that you can't be in a relationship, have a person of the opposite sex as your friend, and still have a successful relationship.
Yes,
Many have done it. Many have
yes,
done it, and like you said, when we said in the onset, it deals with maturity. It deals with how much what does your friendship value? What's the value of your friendship to you? And if you get to the point where you can leave them, excuse me, at the drop of a dime, then maybe that wasn't your bestie.
that's right. You know what, man? One of the most profound things ever said to me was in 2000 in Hawaii, and that was my first female friend ever. And I went to pick her up. We were going down. We were both in the military. We were going down to pick up some equipment, and her and her husband had been going through some things. They had some rough times, and he came. I was waiting on her to come out, and he came to them. We barbecued at each other's house, whatever. So I went over to get him. We all family. We knew each other. So I came over to get her. He came out, and I could tell. I didn't know what was going on, but I could see it in his face that him and her just went through it, man. They were going through it. It was rough. And he came over, and he said to me, he said, hey, man, he said, I appreciate you, but I'm jealous of you. And I said, jealous of me? What you jealous of me for, man? This your wife. What you jealous of me for? He said, man, because I wish I had something with my wife that you and her have. He said, you are her friend. You're her friend. And I wish that me and my wife, her, we could be friends the way you and her are friends. And I had a serious conversation. I told him, I said, brother, then you got to stop doing the things that you're doing, man. You got to stop doing the things that you're doing. Your wife is very simple. She wants certain things. You all have expectations, and I don't know if I reached them on that day. I said, you can be your wife's friend, but you got to come from the right place, man, because your wife is not a fool.
Right.
She understands what's going on.
Right.
And so
They know if you're coming out of jealousy.
Exactly.
They know if you're coming out of being selfish.
Yes.
Because it can even be a selfishness to the extent of, because I've seen it with girls and girls. Girls, I'm going to hang out with the girls.
Problem, brother.
You going out with them. You need to be, I'm your man and you need to be here, or vice versa. I'm your woman. You want to go out with the fellas and, you got me here. What we get together for. That lets you know that individual is not matured yet. Because we started this off with, you don't own anybody.
You don't own
anybody. You cannot, or you should not have to force people to want to be with you. If you're forcing that, then they're not doing it out of will. They're not willing. They're doing it out of a compelling, or they're doing it because there's a greater reward that they're going to get from hanging around, and that's why they do it. They have an ulterior motive.
Yeah.
And that's why when it comes to dealing with individuals, and you already, like, for example, if you're already in a relationship with somebody and they're your best friend, then I'm sure, bestie, you've already had a conversation. Well, hey, boom, boom. Matter of fact, if I can get a couple hundreds in the comment, as soon as you meet her, you call him bestie. Yo, check this out. And you dropping the whole nine. Why? Because you want a woman's perspective. See, that's what people fail to realize. They got an inside track.
Yes.
So the same way you run to them and you want their opinion and you want to tell them all about this person you met, have that same energy when they feed back into you what they observe, because they're a third eye looking in.
That's right.
So you done got your nose wide open. You know what I'm saying? The booty shaking. She done twerked up on it. She backing it up like it's all good. And, she done blew in your ear and hit your spot and the whole nine. and she 420 friendly, and boy, everything just fall into play.
Right.
But she got, she a gold digger, and
And I appreciate a woman's perspective that's coming from an earnest place. And you know that it's coming from that place because they can give you that type of information and, oh, by the way, still not be disrespectful to whoever it is you're seeing. They can call balls and strikes and not be disrespectful. That's when you
exactly.
know it's coming from a good place. They ain't calling out their name. They ain't saying whatever when I used to give advice and when I still give advice, I tell folks all the time, listen, I don't know that brother, but I know when I was that age and I did such and such, whatever that was, this is what it meant to me. I don't know if that brother is there, but I'm telling you, I like to say, and I hope we are reformed now. But pimping ain't easy, but it was an art. Okay, I was pimping before pimping was cool, and so now I can call bullshit quickly, and tell you, oh, well, my man, he do this and that. Okay, well, what do you think? Oh, it's my turn now. What do I
My
think?
turn.
Oh, well, I'm gonna tell you what I think. I think, like when I used to do it, it was this, and this. Oh, you think so? I don't know. And then you know what I say? The key thing: don't go back to him and tell him that Juan said you was full of shit because that's not what I said. Juan said when he was doing it, this is what it meant when he was doing it. Doesn't mean that's what it is when he's doing it. It just means what happened with me. And I'm very careful about doing that, man. And I try to give advice from because I I'm not trying to pull you away from that situation you're in. I'm just trying, if I can, help make that situation better for you. Because
Well,
I you know,
unfortunately, we live in a society now where, um, and I'm not faulting either gender, but I mean, it's like you said, it boils down to sex. I mean, you watch videos, you hear words, you hear the music, everything revolves around sex. Um, and there's a thin line between church and state because, they think some of the biggest places to find women or men is in the church. So, I mean, it's rampant. It's all over. It's something that's been around since the dawn of time. But it depends on what your heart is looking for. 30 years
right.
ago, 40 years ago, me and you was running amok. We didn't care. It wasn't no stability because back then it was how many notches you can get in your belt. And I had
That,
about two or three
that's
because I was out
true.
there. I was out there. I was a player. That was the thing. It wasn't ain't nobody tying me down, and I was out there. But then when I wanted, and we're funny as humans, we're funny because then when we want to settle down,
Hello,
we want something unblemished.
hello,
We
or
don't
or
want
or
nobody. We don't want no girl.
see,
We don't
and I
want
was
standing on the lollipop, standing at the bus stop, sucking on the lollipop.
and I
We
was
want
out
the.
there running like that, and I was married. And so when I decided to act like I had some damn sense, my wife was like, "Yeah, okay, brother, too late. I'm not sitting around here with this foolishness." And so I had to accept the consequences of my actions. And I'm a big boy, and I said it. And one of the most I say all the time, man. One of the toughest things I ever had to do was to look my wife of how many years we were married at that time. I don't know, 14, 15 years, 12 years maybe. I had to look her in the face and tell her that I had a child out of wedlock.
Oops.
Brother, that was tough.
Mm,
But I was prepared to deal with the
mm.
circumstances and the situation that I had created on my own. I had I had to say it. And so I had to be I had to man you talk about manning the hell up. Oh, I had
Yeah.
to man the hell up. I had to man the hell up. But this woman now, we are still the best of friends. We can talk about whatever, however. And she understands me more now than she did then. Because back then she thought I was this tough guy that would say anything, and if I said it, it was it, and this and that. I was living a lie, man, and I had to mature through that. And again, once I finally got my head out of my fifth point of contact, she wasn't sitting around for that. And so that was that.
Hey, yep. See, you got to remember that it's a two-sided coin. It's a two-sided coin, and people are only going to endure pressure bust pipes. I say all the time. People are only
That's
going to
right.
endure for so long, and when you and the other person are not on the same page, you're not looking for the same things, you're going to tend to drift. And so, when it comes to, having a bestie back then, it wasn't, we was chasing. It wasn't no, we was chasing. Sister had a friend, we was chasing, whatever, cousin, whatever, we was chasing. We wasn't trying to make no friends, girls our friends, we was trying to hit. But as time goes on, there's so much, I mean, it's such a broad spectrum. For example, and I'm going to throw this twist in the game, and whoever want to throw in the comments is fine. If you can get to the maturity level of, okay, I have a friend. I mean, my significant other has a friend that's the opposite sex. Okay, cool. We can deal with that. I'm good. Everything's fine. Blah, blah, blah. Now, my question is, number one, how long have you known that individual? We talked about that. Okay, so you got to respect the friendship. And two, is it a platonic friendship, or did y'all use, or is it an ex that y'all are still friends? Because see now, and women are just as jealous as men. That throws a whole. The first thing, you used to hit it, huh? And of course, they're not using these words. Okay, we bleep it here.
But you see, I don't see. For me, that the history of what was there is not so much important to me anymore. When someone can be honest with me about it, when women say, "Yeah, this was my boyfriend at one time, and we decided that it didn't work, and whatever, and we been friends." What's the substance of the relationship now? Is there still this? Because listen, I said 2 things are going to happen. It's either going to happen in the dark or it's going to happen in the light. Either way, it's going to happen. So when you are able to come and say, and that's why, I can't remember the brother's name, man, the football player. He's on there with Shannon Sharp, and he said he doesn't tell women to stop talking to their exes or to their boyfriends or whatever. He allows them to do that on their own based off of how their relationship is going. And I almost agree with that, because I can't re-raise a grown person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you. I can tell you, I don't want you talking to that joker. You don't need to be doing whatever. No, you have got to see something in me that you desire and you want more than what you see in him, or what you saw in him, or what you thought you had with him. And so for me, I'm not telling you, nah, you need to cut that joker off. I'm not saying it.
And that's a reflection of and I don't want to say arrogance. I don't want to say even self-confidence. I want to say that's a level of trust, because when you're secure in who you are in your relationship, okay, whether the other individual has a man or a woman best friend, is if you trust that individual based on what they've shown you and you've done your due diligence, then it shouldn't bother you. So you gotta want to be.
Yeah, good spirit. But you're right. But you know what? But you said it when I was in my 20s, it could have been about arrogance. But now, where I'm at now, listen, I can give you everything, treat you like everything, want everything for you. But if you don't want what I'm offering, it doesn't matter.
Well, the thing is that they're gonna watch. They're gonna watch you. And I say this when I talk about I'm talking about the individual that has the friend. They're watching to see how you react. That's a test. They're gonna see if you come off jealous, if you're gonna spin the block, or if you really, really don't care. You know what I'm saying?
See how that woman moves. Yeah, I just saw her.
It says, see in the back of your mind, you're seeing how that woman moves, and if she don't cut that ex off as being a friend, it's not okay. But see, you got to understand. That's why the longevity of the friendship is so critical. Let's say, for example, and we're doing hypotheticals, this individual, they grew up together. This is a childhood friend. And as they go on through life and they meet on all these different plateaus of life and things, and now she meets somebody or he meets somebody, and they're excited about bringing them to the friend. And when the friend comes into the picture, it almost calls for an observation. And it also calls for how much you really care about that individual in this aspect. Again, we started out, you don't own anybody, so you can't tell nobody, well, When you start talking to me, you got to cut all them females off. Tear up the black book. Yeah, if he was an ex. If he was an
Yeah.
ex.
And like I said, it's either going to happen in the dark or it's going to happen in the light. But it's only going to happen when that person is. It's just like with any. It's just like with any. You got to kind of put it in the category of an addiction. It's, it, if I tell you to stop being addicted to alcohol, weed, whatever, and you have made up in your mind, well, I'm not quite ready yet. Well, then you continue on until you're ready. It may involve me. It may not involve me. What you do and what I tolerate that you do are two different things. You can do whatever you want. Whether I tolerate it or not is something else. That's a whole different thing. And so, for me, I'm like, listen, man. I think, and maybe it's, as we get older, we start to have a different reality, a different take on things. But at the end of the day, I think the fun for me, I'll speak for me, the fun of being out there was a little bit of the arrogance, a little bit of the thrill of the hunt, the chase, But now, man, we too old to be running and chasing. You got
Okay.
to come to Big Daddy because you want to come to Big Daddy. I can't be chasing you because I don't have the energy to keep chasing you. And once you run to me, that's easier for me because I can't run to you. So I don't get I don't get caught up. I don't get caught up on that. I don't. Um,
True. My
you
boy
know.
Notorious True from the B&B crew. He in the building. Good to see you, fam. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for tapping in. Speak on the shed a little light on it, because I let you put it out there, but friendship and besties and what's going on?
Y'all hitting the nail on the head because okay, like how I think Sonya was asking. They was asking in the chat about like how them having an ex or a friend. If you I've always been the type of man where I've really never cared about how many, I never cared about how many bodies this person had. Never cared about all that. Why? Because that ain't gonna dictate their loyalty to me now. Like if you could have a church girl that ain't had no bodies, but if she ain't gonna be loyal to you, like he said, what's done in the dark gonna always come to the
Okay.
light. Is they gonna be who they gonna be? They gonna always be who they want to be. So if it's whatever is about you that's gonna show them that want to bring that natural response or respect out of them to want to, like, you know what, I'm with this. This is something good I don't want to lose, or something I don't want to do that. They're not gonna test your loyalty, and them having friends of the opposite sex shouldn't dictate their loyalty either. Honestly, you get good insight. I got best friends that are like I said, are women, and beautiful insight. Sometimes you'll know when you're messing up a little bit as from a man, or just like as from a woman perspective. They'll be getting insight. They're coming as a man. You're gonna give them real feedback because you respect that friendship. So you gonna, when they tell you, hey, look, he was over here talking like this, and like what's that mean? What this guy understand? You gonna give honest feedback from a male's perspective. Well, I ain't gonna lie. When I was saying that back in the day, it kind of meant this.
Exactly.
To have that conversation with the man, you gonna honestly, they gonna give, you gonna give especially when, because we got friends, we know always put the light on the people that have ill intentions, and always the ones that want to sleep with. But we talk about a good woman and a good man, two
There
good people that are
you
good
go.
friends, giving real solid. I want to see you do well. I want to see you be happy. It definitely don't have to be with me. We platonic, or even if we had something in the back in the day, I still want to see you be good, be happy.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because I respect the kind of person you are. So in that same aspect, my G, yeah, no, you could definitely ask me if he is scared, if he a dirtbag or a shithole. We gonna ring
We'll
the
talk
fire.
about it.
Nah. Hey,
See,
back in my day, he
how
kind of acting like me.
how old are you, brother?
Oh, I'm in my 30s. I'm about 35,
Okay.
man. I'm a young man.
See, it took me. I'm about to say it took me about 35 for me to realize that. And I
Yeah.
tell women that ask me, I said, a man is not ready till he about 35, 40, 45. That's when he matures to speak the way you speak. Up until that point, hey,
Yeah.
it's
You know what? I tell a lot of my friends back, hey, you ain't gonna lie, because I tell a lot of my homegirl friends back in the day, like that knew me like from the day and know me like now, they still hanging around. And then you got some that like knew her. Like, man, if you had knew me back in them days, you
exact.
probably wouldn't be cool with me, dog. You
And I
probably
and I
wouldn't.
Joker asked me, said, yeah. If we had hooked up in the, I said, no, you wouldn't have liked me back then. I was an arrogant bastard, and I thought I was God. Man, I done had 2 Corvettes, and you
Yeah.
know I'm got muscles here. I thought I was just it. No, you would not have liked me. It wouldn't have been good, and I wouldn't have done you no good.
And
You
you know
know
what I'm saying? And because because you remember the mentality that we had
exactly.
back then. Like I remember
Yeah,
the
back then,
mentality,
yeah.
the way I valued and looked at women, the way I thought this and that. Back I don't know if y'all ever went through it before. You get a little heartbreak, and all women the problem. I remember. Listen, I came in the era where Future was coming out heavy. That my favorite song when my heartbreak was coming. These chicks ain't this. Bro, I'm just everybody in it. Everybody the problem. But it took women and growing with people to teach me. You know what I'm saying? How listen, that just because you have this problem here, just like as a good man, you
See,
understand that
and
not one
see,
speaks for all.
you see,
So
Sonya said always thought of me as a gentleman. Yes, because I
Um,
respect people, and I respect them. I respect them no matter what. Thank you.
and
I appreciate that.
how you treat individuals,
Yeah.
how you treat
well, yeah, this
individuals
is
in certain scenarios as a friend, kind of
shows
speaks.
how you respect
It kind
yourself.
of speaks for it. Well, it kind of speaks for how you respect them too, because
Yeah,
I think it was Sonia that said, hey, if you got a friend. For those of you who just joined, we're talking about is how would you could you be in a relationship if your significant other had a best friend of the opposite sex? Is what we're talking about. Um, uh, Sonia was talking about if you meet somebody, and again, there's levels to this, but when you meet somebody and you're
Son,
excited about that individual, you're gonna want to tell your best friend. I don't care if
Sonya,
they're male,
right.
female, or indifferent.
Yeah, you are.
Sonya telling me this is my
Right.
classmate. Sonya, I know who you are, girl.
And she saw
That's
your
my
money.
class.
She said,
No, that's my
No, but
classmate. That's my bulldog classmate. She's a sweetheart.
but when you're
But
dealing with people, it's for like I said, first of all, we don't own
see you
people.
in September, girl.
We got to
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
take you're good. We got to take into consideration how long these people been friends,
yeah,
because
that's
at the end of the
another
day,
part.
on the third part looking in, don't think that you just gonna come in 2 weeks and kick Bestie out the crib.
Exactly.
That ain't gonna
And you should
happen.
and
Shouldn't
listen.
want to
You
though.
said it. And you shouldn't want. Did you say it? And you shouldn't want them to.
Shouldn't want to.
Listen.
Shouldn't
I
want them to.
tell women all the time. Look at who your this joke is. Look at who his friends
Yep.
are. Women have an incredible intuition. Don't let no man tell you, oh, no. God gave you that intuition. Don't let no man talk you out of that. I want to see who your friends are. And even as a woman, hey, how long have you had your female girlfriend? How long y'all been friends? Oh, I don't do well with girls. Oh, really?
There you
Uh oh, okay.
Message,
You
message.
message, yeah. There you go. Message.
pay attention. Yep.
Just like a guy, girls. What kind of relationship does this guy have with his mother if his mother's still living?
There you go.
That part right
And
there.
Hello.
even women watching men, how they treat other women. And I'm not talking
Exactly.
about that individual. I'm talking about their friends,
And
Yep.
how
because
you talk
association
about your
brings out assimilation.
and how you talk about your ex.
Like I said, as a man, I pay attention heavy to how a woman talk about the other sex. Oh, I pay attention. Like
Yeah.
men, we pay attention because if he's a dog and this and that and this and that, and I know what level you on, baby. I know where you at. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and let you kick
I,
it where
I,
you at. You
I you will never get me to disrespect my ex trying to get on a piece of booty. It'll never happen. It will never
I won't even
happen.
respect. I won't respect another man down on another man trying to get some. If you got to down
Exactly that
somebody to
part.
get somebody, then
Yeah.
what you doing, man? And you the
You you
lame if you get to it.
you know what I remember, Paul, when we was in Germany. Remember we used to go to them little I guess they call them sock hops or whatever. And
The
uh
DYA
I don't
dances.
yeah, I don't want to call her name, but the little Hispanic girl, I can't remember her name. I was crazy about her. And I remember I went to the little dance at the DYA and I saw one of the older boys talking to her and she just key. And so I remember I went home and I asked Daddy, I said, man, well of course I didn't say man. I was like, Dad, what? what are these guys saying to these girls to get them to laugh and kiki like that? And you know what he told me? He said they're lying to
That's
him.
what they do.
I said, who? He said don't do that. He said if you're gonna talk to a woman, talk to her straight, and she'll respect you more. And that's what it is. I didn't have to develop what we call it back in the day. Tell our age, we call it a rap. Man, get your rap on, man. Get your rap game. No, I didn't have a rap. Hey, how you doing? And just go for it.
That's
You
it.
know, all that extra stuff. No.
Definitely.
All right, so you're dealing with the longevity of their relationship as friendship. Now, we're kind of on the fence. Some people
Hmm.
say it depends on the individual
Yes.
that
Okay.
that is on the outside. Let's talk about the friend now.
Do
Let's
the
talk about the best
same.
friend now. The best friend,
Saw
what are they motives
you right.
for you, individual? See, and this is something that, like when I tell you investments, this is something that you got to consider because there's times that you feel people are in your corner, but you got to really listen. You got to
Yep.
listen when you're not supposed to be listening, and
Right.
don't watch what they say. Watch what they do, because
Do
if
absolutely.
people really have good intentions for you as an individual, they're not going to try to block you from anything that's
Nope.
definitely going to be
Nope.
positive for you. And when you're dealing with a friendship, I believe, just me personally, that everybody would want the white picket fence, 2.5 kids, and the wife to be loyal, husband to be loyal, everything will be fine. Everybody wants love. Everybody wants romance. Women want to be swept off their feet. All of that's good. But you have to watch people, because people, after a while, they're going to tell you exactly how they are. And when you got an individual, our case is extreme, 30 years. Me and Juan been friends forever. But when you deal with somebody that, like coworkers, like you're dealing with your best friend, and then you get a job and you start talking about coworkers. Don't brush off the best friend when they raise a flag about some of your associates, because they know you better than the associates know you. And again, that's a third eye looking in. But
Yeah,
by
I
the
see
same
it.
token, see that avenue where it's coming from. You know what I'm saying? Is it coming from because they want the best for you, or is it becoming they somewhat jealous? And that's why I said,
That's right.
if your best friend is an ex or just platonic, because there's times that hey, it happened one night, woody whoop, okay, you kept moving. Next thing you know, here it is, you down the line and your friends and this, that, and the other. And then now that bestie thinking, yup, I got an inside track. I've been there. I've been there before. And now they see you happy, and genuinely they're happy. Now jealousy will set in. That's why you got to watch people. You understand what I'm saying? And
I feel like
not,
your intuition to tell you though.
yeah, but yeah, because not everybody's gonna be like that. But you could kind of, when they start shutting down things that, hey, me and my bestie, we're gonna go grab lunch. Why you gotta go grab lunch? I'll take you to lunch. Don't worry about that. No,
Yeah.
don't gonna see those. Those are little things that you could brush off and say, oh, he just want to spend time with me, or she just want to spend time with me. There's a reason.
Right.
There's a reason. Okay, so a one time, a one night time makes someone an ex asking for therapy.
I
We
don't
need
know
more
if
we
that.
need more information.
What
I think those is like flings. Ain't that called flings?
Yeah,
yeah,
we
yeah.
need more
Let me put it
information.
this
Oh,
way.
no, no night
And
stands.
and
Those
a
is flings, man.
an affair that didn't flare. How about that?
Flare, right? Let's
It
do
didn't
this. Just
flare.
one day.
You
Just
mean
one day.
once, twice, you tried it,
It
it
just,
wasn't
it just,
conducive, you know what I mean? I know you need details.
right,
Come on
man.
the show. Come in here and
Hey,
talk. You don't
what
want me to
no
be
what
on
they
the screen.
hey, what the young people call that now? Entanglement?
The
Entanglement.
entanglement.
There you
Oh, yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah.
That's
That's
there.
Jada.
Let me
No,
say it
that's
in the mic.
y'all. That's y'all up there. That ain't ours. That's Jada and them. That's up there.
Uh,
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
yeah.
She dropped that up there. She
um,
finessed that one.
but that's why I say in everything you're gonna go through a test.
That's
Friendships are gonna be tested. Relationships are gonna be tested. No, don't be quiet. You can talk. She said, "I'm quiet."
but
Um,
couldn't you tap in with like, okay, say like, okay, if let me just go there too, because y'all was saying we was talking about best friends, right? So if that's your best friend, right, and you could go to them about any of that, everything like that, and say you catch it like say you, if you know your best friend, you know your best friend,
Right,
right,
right, right.
and you know the moments when they even when the moments they ain't saying it, they doing like they just like the jealousy thing, they being jealous. As a best friend, I feel like that is, I don't know, I just feel like that's your duty to call it out as your. Hey, friend, you kind of give me some
Little
jealousy right
salty, little
there. I'm
salty.
no your jealousy poking out, like you gotta call it out. And I feel like because if y'all that close, y'all should be able to call this stuff out within each other. No, you know what I'm saying, without no issue. Like, oh, hey dog, hey, look,
Yeah, but think
you
about
can play with
think,
me, you can fool everybody else, but I dang near know you like your brother or your sister.
but
Come
think
on
about what
now.
you but think about what you just said now. Uh, 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 if they're jealous, that means they're coming from a place where they want other than what's good for you because the agenda is what's good for them.
For
See,
them.
I asked, well, I didn't even ask, but I was having a conversation with a friend of mine last week, same thing.
Mm.
And you know, she told me something that was so profound. She said, listen, while you're trying to work through that, I'm going to make sure I watch my tongue
Ooh.
because I don't want to come across, because at the end of the day, your situation is still your situation. And I could do nothing but respect
That's
that
respect.
because
That's
I give the same type of advice to them. What I say, I call them when they talk about their situation, and we know it's kind of a joke. I call them Mr. Whoever.
God.
So that and so I make sure, even as I listen to her situation or she may listen to mine, we make sure that we come from a place of earnest. We're being
Yeah.
honest with each other in our conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe, because I've known her over 20 years, I believe that to be true, because otherwise I wouldn't have a conversation with her. Listen, everybody should not be involved in everybody's business, because you don't know what their intentions
Put
are.
that in
What's
the
your
chat.
what's your motives? What's your motive for
Thank
saying
you.
what? Listen, we all listen. Just walking down the street, when you see people, you have a motive by speaking.
Yep.
Yep.
Whether you want that gratification of someone else looking you in the face, smiling, "Hey, good morning, how are you?" You have a motive for every conscious word that comes out of your mouth. You have a motive for it. And so we got to be careful about what that motive is, because that is where the lines get blurred, and then foolishness begins.
Exactly. And it's a sad case scenario. But you got to kind of filter. You got to kind of put a filter. And I've said this before. It's not that you act different around different people, but you act different around different people. And what I
Thank
mean by
you.
that, you're you, but the common sense and the maturity in you knows that you can't say certain things without certain repercussions. And so, for the peace of mind, or for the benefit of it all, then you critique yourself, and that's just for self peace, if I could say it that way, because some people don't care. I don't care. I know she's looking at me. I don't care. I don't like her no way. Yeah, nah, nah. But that's your best friend. Now
I
your best
know.
friend is not shining on her. Now she's shining
Exactly.
on you.
You.
And
Yeah.
now she's embarrassing you, and she's not taking your feelings into consideration, or him, because I don't want the ladies in the chat to be looking at me when I got to go outside, check, watch my tires. If I got a flat, I know something. But it's actions, and I keep saying this almost in everything that we talk about. Is how an individual acts and what they do that's really gonna lay the foundation. And there's so many signs that you can watch. Like we said, if you want to see how an individual is, see the people he hang around.
That's it.
Association bring on assimilation.
That's it.
You see what I'm saying? If you want to see how a man is going to treat you as a woman, see how he treat other females.
Yeah. His
You see what I'm
sister, his
saying?
mama.
And if you were smart, and I'm dropping this big gem, y'all can break it up and share it. If you were smart, you would want to be friends with the bestie, because bestie got the inside
Hello.
track.
Especially when they coming from a place, and Man, listen, tonight was for me. I feel like crap, but tonight was for me. I said that just the other day. I am glad that brother is your best friend. You know why?
Yep.
Because he genuinely loves you and he wants the best for
Yep.
you. And that's the best kind. Now, listen, I don't need to know whether 15 years ago he started off trying to holler at you and then it didn't work out and you told him no and he said okay and y'all decided to be friends. Who cares? I don't care nothing
Exactly.
about none of that. I'm
Exactly.
talking about the here and the now. Here is where we're at right now.
What is that definition that they call so when you self-inflict pain and mental anguish? I think there's a term for it, but why would you want to drive yourself crazy worried about who she been with instead of who
Listen.
she
I've
could
This
be
never
with?
understood that.
this is for another.
I've
This is
never
for
understood
another
that.
show.
That's
But
another
I
show.
hate to hear. Yeah, I hate to hear these guys talking about does body count really matter? You know why? Why you all? What that got to do with anything? What I got to? What that got to do with anything? We're not there anymore. The average guy don't want. I'm just from a male perspective. The average guy does not want to deal with. See, it's a two-bladed sword. The average guy does not want to deal with a woman who has never dealt with anybody to do what we just don't. So we can pretend like we do, but we know that's a lie. It's not true. We want her already seasoned. Okay, and it's not my business how we got seasoned. We just want it seasoned, and so guys need to stop that. They they need to stop doing that. You know, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, again, I think that, and the reason I brought this topic up is because it seems nowadays that there's so much, influence on relationships from outside entities, and um, it's okay to take advice from individuals. Like I say all the time, listen to what everybody say, okay, but don't care about what they think, because at the end of the day, you got to look yourself in the mirror. But taking all the consideration, all the things that they speak on, and when you're dealing in this topic that I'm dealing in, I think that one of the best things for you to do is to have self maturity and know what your limitations are, and in that way, they used to say you don't know how dumb somebody is till they open their mouth. They can
So
come
they
in a room and
open
not
their
say a
mouth.
word. So why would you expose something that you know is going to be detrimental to you? If you know you can't deal with something, then until you feel that you can deal with it, don't put yourself in that position. That's self-inflicted pain, self-inflicted wounds. And then by the same token, in and I'm sure you'll agree, there's been many people that have lost many a good friend because they weren't looking at the value of the individual. They were looking at what they can get from the
Right.
individual. And oh, I'm gonna hit that, I'm gonna hit that, I'm gonna
Transactional
hit that.
relationship.
Yeah. And it's not even and women are just as good. I know y'all quiet in the chat, women, but y'all just as guilty as men. Y'all be out there seeing how many bodies you can get too. So
No,
back in the
no,
day, and
Sonya,
not all
Sonya
of
gonna
them.
keep it 100 now.
Yeah, y'all,
That's
y'all,
my
y'all
girl. She
looking
gonna
too.
keep it 100.
Y'all out there too, and some of y'all gold diggers, and really you ain't looking for no man, but you want to tear up everything. It's like you don't want an individual, so ain't nobody else gonna have that individual. And then you got people that they um they don't want you, but they don't want nobody else to have you, and so
Yeah,
they'll play a lot of different. They'll put up a lot of different facades and pretend that they mean you well, when in essence they don't mean you well.
that's
And
why you got to be careful who you tell your business to, or who you consult with, or who you
who your
collaborate
friend is.
with.
That's it.
Mhm.
Because and I'm sure everybody's been guilty of this or heard of it. They say girlfriends don't tell your girlfriend, women don't tell your girlfriend how good your man is in bed or what have you. And men don't tell your boys how good she is, because you can't trust people. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? If you tell me, man, they got the best steak down there on the corner of 15th and 3rd Avenue, man, and it melted your mouth, and man, they got these butter biscuits, and after a while, you whet my appetite enough, I'm gonna go see about that butter
Yeah, that's
biscuit. I'm
right.
gonna go see about that steak, and you keep talking it up, and then and men are treacherous. They'll say anything. They'll start. Wait a minute, hold on. Not my dad told me a long time ago, I'm sitting on $1 trillion, so don't give away the prize to everyone. Well, she said $1 trillion. Well, that's a show for another day. We'll tune in on the $1 trillion show. But that's because your dad was looking out to you so that you knew the value of self.
Yeah,
And
her
like I
dad,
said, if
her
we
dad
don't value
was a real
self,
dude.
if we don't value our own self, then we're going to allow people to do all kind of different things to us. And when you're dealing in a relationship, and you're going into a relationship, you should want to have the support of your best friend to want to, help you filter through if they're truly
That's right.
mean for you to be happy, if that's what their motive is. And so sometimes $1 trillion sound about right. I got some change. I got some
That
change.
that girl, that girl, a beach high graduate. She didn't even know what a trillion was. Stop it, Sonya.
But it serves a dual purpose when you're dealing with that, because every friendship needs to stand the test of time, or
Yes,
not so much the test of time. And so it's not that you choose one from the other, but if that's what it took for that individual to be revealed. And when you're dealing with relationships, um you also got to respect the individual that you're getting into the relationship with. Okay. and
yeah,
and what I mean by that is, if that's your best friend, they understand this a new guy, this a new girl. They gonna do that. You hang up. Well, no, they don't do that now. Remember, you hang up first. No, I hang up. No, you hang up. All right, on three we gonna hang up, and both of y'all be sleep in the morning, and the phone be do 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 do,
yeah,
because ain't nobody hung up. When you get the newness, until the newness wears off, and if you're their friend, don't get in the position that you feel now that you've lost a friend. No, you've actually gained another individual, because if your friend is happy and that individual is treating them well, and they're getting along, you should be happy for your friend, because now there's two people caring about that individual,
right.
you and the other person. So you just got to find a way to fit within the equation, and not make either one of them feel uncomfortable. That's what the friend's position is, to be a friend, not only because it's almost like with the children. You don't just get the woman or the man if they got kids. It's a quote unquote package deal at the end of the day. They're not gonna stop being friends. They're not gonna say, okay, you my man now, you my girl now, so hey, I can't be your friend no more. That's not gonna happen. Not if it's bestie. I mean, and if it happened that quick, then they weren't really bestie.
That's
Okay.
true.
Um, but if they really care, they'll what do they say? They'll back off, but they'll keep a hand on the pulse of it all,
Yeah, of
because
course.
they really care about you.
Yeah,
They'll
yeah.
wait till after the movie. Okay, great. Call me later. Tell me what happened. Hey, you didn't call me. Must have been a long night.
And I've even done that with some of my female friends. I backed off and allowed and gave their relationship the respect that I would have wanted given to me. And so yeah, we do that. But again, that's about recognizing the relationship and where we are in it. And these have been folks that I've known over 20 years. Sonia and I went to high school together. When I come in town, me, her, and another one of our buddies, we sit down and we chop it up and do our thing. And we always keep it 100 with each other. But I just think that as we get older, man, we have to be real about what these relationships are and recognize them for that. And so I think, as we navigate the rest of our lives through here, Sonia's our age, as we
Oh, okay.
as we go through the rest of our lives, we recognize, you got real and unrealistic expectations, and to think that you at this age gonna tell somebody you need to cut that person off or cut that person. You need to start thinking about, wait a minute, why are you trying to tell me, all right, good night, we need to talk tomorrow. But why are you trying to tell me that at this age? When we get to a comfortable place, guess what? I know when to cut that thing off. Okay? You telling me is not gonna make me do it, because again, it's either gonna happen at the day or it's gonna happen at night. But it's gonna happen. You know?
life is short, and we as adults should not want to waste each other's time, and that's true,
Yeah.
especially in the time that we live now. And Sonia, thank you for tuning in. Say Joy Love. We every Monday night. Come on in. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. But it's very important that not only if you don't do nothing else, consider your time.
Right.
Consider your time that you're investing into this, and into an individual. Have your self worth enough to know where you want to invest your time. And don't if you have a relationship with somebody and they're truly a friend. And I know a couple friendships like that. Cherish that, because at the end of the day, and I don't care what nobody says. There's a difference between friendship and intimacy,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
and there's places that friendship can take you that intimacy can't, and vice versa. But I think the richer of the two would be friendship, because you could be friends without being lovers.
That's right. That's
You
right.
can't be lovers without being
That's
friends,
true.
because then you
That is
just
true.
hitting and quitting.
That's true.
You just hitting and quitting. And so, when you find somebody that is willing to, invest their time and critique, and they're looking out for you, or they may even be on the prowl for you. Say, hey, I met somebody I think you'll like. Don't always throw it to the curb, because that's your bestie, and your bestie knows something about you that you may not even be conscious of. It's something that you do subliminally, something that you like, like I can't stand to talk to people while they're eating on the phone. Call me back, enjoy your food. All that
Yeah.
smacking, well, this ain't sugar smacks, baby. You hang up the
Right.
phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just can't do it. And I quit to call you out on it, and I'll tell you about it. Because that's irritating. And so I said that to say, you'll find people that will do things to annoy you purposely. They'll sabotage you,
Yeah.
and not only you, they'll sabotage relationships. And so, case in point, the best friend gets the message and doesn't deliver the message to the best friend, because no, he don't deserve you. Now you're being judgmental. Speak to your individual about that and say, hey, this is how I feel. This is why this is why that. And I think it'll make a lot better for relationships, as far as friendships that can go long ways. And if your friend, your bestie, let me quit saying friend, if your bestie can't come to you and tell you any and everything under the sun, they're not your bestie. If
That's
you
true.
can't talk to them about every and anything, they're not your bestie. They might be friends, they might be associates, they might know you, they might even be family, but you should be able to open up to them about anything. And even when it comes to something that you did and you made a mistake, or something that you got to go back and rectify, what does that do? When somebody's humble, it means that they value what they're humbling
That's
themselves
right.
to.
That's true.
And you have to have the bigger eye. And so, on the same token, don't think that just because you got a friend of the opposite sex that you can't be in a relationship. There's fine lines, there's boundaries and everything, you know what I'm saying? But by the same token, if your best friend liked you, and then your relationship liked you, then there's a common ground. They should be able to hit on some kind of common ground. You understand what I'm saying?
And
So
then
go ahead.
yeah, no, I'm just saying, man, and that's why I call it the maturity, man. I've always dated very attractive women. Do you really think that I believe I'm the only joker that find these women attractive? Don't you think I know you jokers at work sweating you and looking at you? But the respect that you have for me is what kept that, what kept them at bay. I didn't tell you don't talk to nobody at work. I'm coming up to your job like Debo, see who in here looking at your booty, because that's ridiculous. Everybody in here looking at my booty, okay? Everybody. You're gonna beat up the whole damn shop. I mean, it's just to me it's ridiculous. And I've seen, and I've heard. I haven't seen it, but I've heard guys with that type of mentality. Well, I'm gonna come up. I'm just gonna post up at your job to see who's looking at you.
Thank you.
Everybody here looking at me.
Yeah. And and
Everybody.
and and you know, think of it from a standpoint. Do you want an individual that nobody look at?
Exactly.
You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying? And then
So
again, we back to self maturity and maturity and trust.
who wants somebody nobody wants?
Yeah,
You're right. Nobody.
don't nobody. But you know, she knew what she was doing when she put on them Victoria's. Don't tell
Exactly.
no secret. She knew what she was
Exactly.
doing when she put on them jeans that
Uh,
hit just right, and she knew what she was doing, and she knew. But you know what it is? It's the spice, it's the variety, it's the attention. Now, does that mean she gonna go in the break room on break and jump in them? No. She looking
No.
good, quiet as kept, man. Let me
Yeah.
drop this nugget. She looking good for you.
Yeah.
And
And
and there's
that's that
some men I
maturity. That's
seen
that
it. Yep,
maturity
that's
part.
maturity.
That's
I
the
seen
maturity
some
part.
men, catch a brother looking and just smile because there's you can't stop somebody from looking at you. You can stop them from disrespecting you, putting their hands on you,
Exactly.
things of that nature. But you can't. You ought to be happy when you drive up on the lot and you got them 22s and everything hitting in the booming system and everybody come out, ooh, nice car. Versus when you drive up in that Pinto, they got three spare tires and one good one, and, and an
I,
AM FM radio in the front seat. Ain't nobody trying to get in that.
I remember the time I was a young drill sergeant, man, and this fool, he didn't know that who my wife was, and so he had to take some privates over to get ID cards, and he come back and he come back, and I walked up on a conversation where he's explaining, man, you been to ID cards section, man, it's this fine joke over there with green eyes and brown skin and yada, and everybody looking at him like, dude, that's
About
Debo girl, shut up, shut
Ixnay.
up. But I said, but I told him, I said, go ahead, man. I said, yeah, that's my wife. Oh man, I ain't no disrespect. You didn't say anything disrespectful.
No,
She is a
not
good
at
looking
all.
girl. She is this and that. She do have green eyes. She do this and that. Yeah, I wasn't upset at all. Now if you'd have kept going and been disrespectful, I slapped you in your mouth, not because of what you
Man, you
did,
paying
but because you're
compliments.
disrespectful.
Right,
Yeah,
right. He didn't say he
all those were
wanted to
comments.
jump in it. He was
Yeah,
just saying how fine she was.
all them. Yeah, he was like, "Yo, man, y'all bet." He was a new drill sergeant. He didn't know, and Dummy didn't even look at the name tag because we all wear a name tag. He could see Denmark on her name, Denmark, but he's like, "Man, y'all been over the ID card?
You
Yeah,
gonna
man, y'all
learn
seen that
today. You gonna
fine
learn today.
So and you can see everybody's face like, yo, that's Debo girl, that's Debo girl. But listen, man, I don't know, brother. Listen, man,
Yeah, we way over. I know we over. I know you got to get your Geritol and get to bed. I ain't mad at you.
hey, man, whatever.
I got mine. Don't
I'm
feel
about to
bad.
say we can split a
We can
Geritol.
split one.
What's Sonya say? Sonya
What she
said,
said was slam the door in his
that's
face like
right.
you
You
did
were
me. Uh-oh.
proud to claim your woman. That's right. That's right. Every any woman I ever dated, I was always proud to
Yeah,
claim her.
and
Absolutely.
you supposed to, and women is the same way. Don't no woman want no man that no other
Don't
woman
nobody
want.
want.
You ever
Yeah.
notice? And I'm closing on this one, as they say in church. You ever notice that don't nobody want you till you get in a relationship?
Ain't that funny, brother?
Nobody wants
Did
you until
do
you
you
get in a relationship.
hey
The
do you
man,
re-
you single and you shooting, but like you got Tommy guns. Ain't no shoot you down. You meet
do
this
you
little
remember
girl, y'all hanging
uh,
out. Next thing you know,
uh,
oh,
about 2 years ago, man? I posted it. Somebody put a meme out of something, and it said something to the effect of, "All right, I'm getting ready to get out here in these streets. Anybody want me before I get?"
that's because that's how it is. Don't nobody want. Don't nobody. She said it in the fact we ought to pin it. Don't nobody want somebody that nobody
That's
else want.
right.
Unless they
Amen.
on a charity case.
That's it.
It's been a blast, y'all. It's
Yeah,
and
man.
I want to go a little deeper. I want to go a little deeper because I know there's some women in there that got some insights. And
Yeah,
you
it would have
laughing, Nate?
been nice if one of them came
Yeah,
up, but we got you from the
he
comment
said
section.
I'm like that too. When a woman stares at my man, I'm with. My smile is a mile wide.
Sure.
Yeah, I might see. I'm the type. We old school. You look at my woman. I'm standing there. I'm gonna grab a booty
That's right.
just to make you
That's right.
and
Oh, I'm
give me a
that
kiss,
fool
girl.
too.
Yep. So I'm gonna
That's
do
right.
something. Yep.
Yep. That's
Yep.
me. I'm that fool too.
I'm crazy like that glue.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
don't get stuck. But but it's at the end of the day. it boils down to this: respect starts at home. Maturity. If you got a problem with it, don't get involved in it because
That's
you're
right.
setting yourself up for heartbreak. If you can't stand seeing your woman with another man, period, let alone her best friend, because what you gonna do when you want to go on vacation together? What you want to do when she get dressed up and they going to paint a night on the town and she wearing them little things that you bought her and you know how she push it back on you. You gonna sit at home on the edge of the couch twiddling your thumbs wondering who she backing it up on,
Yeah,
or you
right.
gonna trust your woman enough that she's not gonna do nothing and you're gonna have peace of mind. See, so I guess the moral of the story is check yourself.
Yeah.
Check yourself because there's no reason why people can't have a platonic relationship.
You don't say
And
when they go hang out with their girlfriends.
no, as a matter of fact, you want to go.
Yeah. So give that same type of respect. If she's respectful, give that same type of respect that you would if she was hanging out with her girlfriends, and keep it moving. It's almost like this last part, man. When I used to do labor relations stuff, guys used to irritate me, man. When they would say, "Well, if I had to talk to another male, I just pulled him and I just talked to him. But if I had to talk to a female, I got to get two witnesses." And this, I said, so you just automatically assume because because it's a female that she's going to be unprofessional? I don't operate like that. If I can talk to one male, and of course, things have changed now, but if I can talk to that male by herself, I can talk to that female by herself. I don't automatically assume that because she's a female, she's going to be disrespectful or she's going to say I tried to do something to her. What? No, my character is going to speak for itself. So,
Not
no,
only that, your intelligence is going to let you know how far you need to go in the
that's,
conversation.
that's right.
You can take a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
That is true.
And this is why I say, for those of you that are tuning in, come back again next week. We're gonna talk about something else, but you gotta really learn yourself, especially nowadays, because if I'm not mistaken, if we was to sit out and do inventory, we waste a lot of time trying to please other people
Yes. Too much. Too much.
and worried about what other people think. When at the end of the day, and you go home and you close that door, it's you and anybody within your household and anybody
So,
that you deal with. And you go out there and you don't want to say this and you don't want to say that because you don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. But what you're doing is you're inflicting pain and you're hurting your own feelings, because if you care enough about it to think about it and it was bothering you, you wanted to say something,
yeah,
speak on it. What's the worst that can happen? If you lose them, they weren't there for
it
you
wasn't
anyway. And
there for you
if
anyway.
not, then you gain a friend. If they don't take time to care about how you feel, bruh, the writing is on the
It's
wall. You know what I'm
true.
saying? So from the old heads, as y'all say, to the young heads, it's you're never too young and you're never too old. I put it on a maturity thing. If you're out there looking for somebody and you go through life, and this is pops, treat people the way you want to be treated at their level.
Yeah. See, she said way too much time wasted, and that's a young old head right there, hanging out with old people.
And yeah, and
That's
they
what
may
happened
never
to you, girl,
and may
hanging out with
and,
old people.
and they may never be worth it. That's true.
Yeah.
You spend too much time. I mean, be yourself. If you'll resonate with the people that are like you. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? If you
yeah.
happy go lucky, you're gonna find somebody happy go lucky.
Yeah.
And
And recognize you ain't for everybody. You're not
exact.
for
That's another
everybody,
thing.
and
This
everybody
is
ain't for
not.
you.
Oh, I'm glad we might need to borrow 5 minutes because this is not one size fits
Yeah.
all. Relationships are not one size fits all. You have to try on
Love y'all.
every aspect of
Okay, go to
that.
bed. Love you back.
Bye.
Let's
Good
talk
night.
tomorrow.
Um, you have to do that because you're investing in you. I mean, at the end of the day, like we 60. We look back now, yeah, there's a lot of things that we might have changed, might not have changed, or whatever. But we got it to look back on. I don't want people that have an opportunity to make their life better to look back and say, you know what, I wasted time. And that's what kills me about it. And we're gonna do a show about women that stay in relationships and men that stay in relationships. I think it's the title is Together But Alone. That's what we're gonna
Oh,
talk
yeah, yeah.
about. Together
Yeah.
but alone. And there's a lot of reasons that come up. But in the meantime, in between time, I want to thank each and every one of you. We're way over time. Everybody that tuned in, Nate Bell, we're gonna get you. Don't worry, we're gonna get you. True, thank you for tuning in. Those of you who joined in for the first time,
Thank
we
you,
on
guys.
every
Have a
Monday
great
night,
time. Stay
eight
blessed.
o'clock.
You
If we're
Too,
not right
Sonya.
on, yup. Sonya Money, say Joy Love. Y'all follow me. Tap in. Don't forget. Where is it
Two
at?
good people.
Don't forget, get your Pops Gems pin. Where's it at? Get your Pops Gems pin. And then again, thank you for everybody. I gotta play this one on the way out, y'all. Say what you will and may.
Honey nut.
Say what you will and may, but I'm gonna give y'all a little taste of this, and we out the door. And next week we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about some interesting stuff. Um, but in the meantime,
Your mom's is so poor. She
y'all
went to
remember
McDonald's
this?
to put a shake on layaway.
I do not own the rights to this music. Hold on, I think.
Have you ever met a girl that you tried to date, but a year to make love, she wanted you to wait? Let me tell you a story of my situation. I was talking to this girl from the U.S. nation. The way that I met her was on tour at a concert. She had long hair and a short miniskirt. I just got on stage, dripping, pouring with sweat. I was walking through the crowd, and guess who I met? I whispered in her ear, come to the picture booth so I can ask you some questions to see if you're 100 proof. I asked her name, she said blah, blah, blah. She had 9-10 pants and a very big bra. I took a couple of flicks and she was
I thought they was
enthused and
going to
said,
bed.
how do you like the show? She said I was very amused. I started throwing bass, she started throwing back mid-range, but when I sprung a question, she acted kind of
Listen up,
strange.
y'all.
Cause when I asked, do you have a man? She tried to pretend. She said, no, I don't. I only have a friend. Come on,
Baby,
I'm not
just
even
a
going for
friend.
it. It's what I'm
Oh,
going to say.
baby, you
You
got
got
what
what I
I
need,
need.
but you
You
say
say
he's just a
just a
friend,
friend.
and you
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 say
say
he's
say
he's
just
just
a
a
just
friend.
friend.
a friend.
Oh,
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 baby.
baby,
baby,
This your boy
you
Pops.
got what
Pops
I
Gems,
need.
Pops Perspective. Bismarck keep taking us out. Till
All right,
next week.
brother.
Tune in 8 o'clock. Don't meet me there. Beat me there.
All right.
Peace.
All right, man.